I knew a guy who was a rich guy, and his parents were fucking billionaires, and he grew up with 2 trust funds. He burned through his first trust fund, fucked that up, and then they had a backup trust fund for him. He was buying houses and flipping them and losing money and investing in businesses, and they all went under. He had no discipline, no understanding of what money really was, and no hunger, because he never had a time in his life when he was poor. He never had a time in his life where he was worried about paying the bills. And if you don't have that, and you don't have that real motivation, I just don't think you ever really appreciate success. The people I think that appreciate success are the people that worked for it. You know, where you could remember back when you were poor. Like, I've had people say to me, like, why do you do so many jobs? Why do you have so many things you do? Like, why do you keep moving? Why do you do so much? Because I remember being scared. I remember being broke. I remember having no idea where the fuck the money was coming from or what my future was going to be. And I was always terrified of being a loser. That's that feeling of not succeeding is what motivates you. Knowing that you failed in the past, and that, you know, there's been many times where, like, how many times have you bombed and you get off stage, you're like, I can't do this. I'm not a comedian. I'm fucking terrible. Like, I got to figure out what the fuck I'm doing with my life. If you don't go through those things, if you don't have those experiences, if you don't have those moments in your life where you're unsure of the future, you're not going to have the real resolve that it takes to make it, the grit and determination that it takes to move forward. And if you don't have that, any success that you do have, you're not going to appreciate. Nothing comes easy. And if it does come easy, it's not, you don't have it. You don't really have it. Nothing comes easy.
You know, the things that have really made a huge difference in my happiness in life are, first of all, feeling physically and mentally well is our own individual obligation. Regardless of upbringing, no one can do it for us. There's no magic pill or fairy or stork that's going to deliver the solution. So I place tremendous value on keeping my physiology where it needs to be. I want to have endurance. I want to have strength. I want to have mental strength. I want to have kindness. I want to have openness. I want to be open to learning. I want to, so that's very important. You don't need many friends, but friendship is a wonderful and important part of my life. So I try and take good care mentally and physically. I try and invest in my friendships and obviously other relationships too. Success to me really is about embracing this capacity that we have to improve our nervous system. It really is. It's not just a job for me. It really is. I feel my duty as a human being to always try and be better, do better for myself and for others. And that involves having tools and protocols, being reflective. You know, there's so many ways that we can improve, and there's so many ways that we can devolve when we don't do that work.
First thing, you need freedom, because you ain't a man if you're not free. If you're working your ass off, you're a slave. And you may sit there and go, I'm not a slave, I get paid really well. Listen, the slaves got free food and free shelter in exchange for work. Now all they've done is got rid of the food and shelter deal, give you dollars, which you spend on food and shelter. And you basically have nothing left. So you're still a fucking slave. So first thing you need is freedom. If you're not free, you're not a man. First thing, you're not a successful man. So you should always be working towards freedom. And I mean freedom with your time. Do what you want. Freedom with your location. Go where you want. There's a riot. Cool. Go in Tokyo. See you later. Bye. Going to Australia. See you later. Bye. Freedom, one thing. The next thing that constitutes success as a man is your network. Who are you talking to? Who are these people? Who will answer your phone calls? Listen. So I can call multimillionaires right now. I can have the best idea in the world. I can call a bunch of multimillionaires right now and say, look, I need 100 mil. Here's my idea. Boom, 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 boom. We can make something happen. You can't do that. I can do that. Freedom, network. And then you get into the aesthetics of life. For people to view you as successful, you need good body language. You need physical presence. A man who's not dangerous, a man who has no physicality, it will never be seen as successful. So you can't be a little bitch. And I understood this from a young age as well. So I'm sitting there at a young age thinking, I need to get a network of high net worth individuals who are, or not even rich men, but men who are driven, men who are making money. And I need to find a way to talk to them, work for them, learn what they know so I can become one of them. I need to get body language and physicality. I need to become big and dangerous. I need to be able to display that without saying it.
The reason I wrote Mastery is we humans only do things that are pleasurable, right? We're attracted to the things that give us pleasure, and we refrain from things that give us pain. But how do we define pleasure? For most people, particularly young, it's instant. I want things that are quick. I want to get that jolt from a 2-hour movie or from a video game or maybe from a week's worth of work. But real pleasure, fulfillment, comes from something much longer. So when you reach a point where you're 30 years old, you've been serious, you've learned all these skills, you've gone to school, but you've tried different jobs, and now you're ready to start your own business, and you have that level of, wow, I've done all these great things, that is a much greater pleasure and thrill that you'll ever have in life than from something immediate. So think of your sense of pleasure, draw it out to 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, have a plan. So when you reach a point where you actually realize your dreams, that is the ultimate high you can ever have. So I wrote that book to make people aware that reaching a point of mastery and creativity is the most ecstatic thing. It's a peak experience, to use Maslow's terms. It's worth going through all the pain.
First of all, you have to believe that you can. That's the most important thing, because most people lack the self-belief. They look at something and they think that either somebody was born into it, or that they're lucky, or that they have something that other people don't. But when you look at this, right, you look at the wealth, you look at the vast greatness that's in front of us, it belongs to other people just as much as it belongs to you, right? There's no reason why somebody else should be entitled to this and you aren't. You just have to put in the work. That's the first thing. The second thing is you need the right information, right? You need to get yourself educated. If you think the information you learned in high school and elementary school and middle school and in university are going to help you become wealthy, then you're sadly mistaken, because you won't, right? The $40,000 a year teacher is teaching you. They can only teach you what they've been able to accomplish. They're not going to be able to teach you something that they haven't been able to do. And then finally, you need a network, right? You need a group of people around you. You need access to information, right? All these banks, all these monopolies, all these conglomerates, what they have is they have networks, right? They have people around them that support them, that give them insider information. They're friends, right? Just as you would in any sort of endeavor, right? You have a team. And this idea that everything is by yourself, that you're going to accomplish things by yourself, that's what the system wants. They want to keep you isolated and alone. But the most important thing is to find like-minded people and people that push you to become greater. The reason I brought you out here was to inspire you, right? To inspire you to see what is possible, to see the potential of the human condition and how limitless we truly are. I started with $200 in a suitcase. I come from nothing, and it had nothing to do with the color of my skin. It had nothing to do with anything. I'm an internet guy. It has nothing to do with me being an online personality, because that's what I am today. But I started as an anonymous guy on the internet, and I became rich. And the reason I was able to do that was because I had the right information, I had the right mindset of belief, and I had the right community and network around me.